Hey, Soul Warriors, welcome to the October Energy Update. We have been speaking for months now about being in a time of transition, and that's going to continue, not going anywhere anytime soon. Some of us are transitioning a lot quicker, and those are the way showers. Those are the ones that maybe that's you, will be here to be the blueprint for others, a mirror for others as to what is possible. And if you're taking your time because you have a lot of big shifts happening, or maybe you have something really big you're bringing into this world, it's going to take a longer period of time. So no competition here, no judgment, however long or short the period of time takes you. It is all right on the divine timeline for you. So we're easing off that pressure on ourselves that, why are we still here? There is so much to alchemize right now, and there is so much to unlearn. So we're just continually going through layers, or new things are popping up like, hey, I don't really like that in my life, or I don't mind that, but I'm not enjoying it like I want to. So I'm going to alchemize that. I'm going to work on this. Or, ooh, I don't like how I feel with that. So what is behind that? What's the patterns? What can I unlearn here? And what can I choose to do differently? There's so many different little tiny moving parts. So if you're super into your awareness and taking a look at yourself and why you're acting, feeling, saying, all the things that you're doing, what's going on for you, really taking a hard look at that, just with curiosity. I mean, a hard look, like you're taking a deep dive, but you're not like, why did you do that? We're not trying to become the reprimanding parent to ourselves. We are trying to be like, supportive best friend who would like tell you the truth that, that stung a little bit, or what did you mean behind that? Because it didn't seem like it came out quite maybe how you were meaning it. This is times where we question ourselves in a very loving and supportive way. So we've been talking a lot about big shifts, and many of you have been feeling a certain type of way about that because you haven't seen those big shifts happening for you. So you're like, this is all, it's junk, or why isn't it happening for me? And I'm not sure why my cat is screaming at me. Do you have something to say? She just shook her head no. Okay. She just wants attention like we all do. So these big shifts, why you're not seeing things happening is because of an old training. The old training is constantly seeking external validation that things are shifting, instead of leaning back into that deep faith that we have, that knowing that we've got this, that we've got ourselves, and that source, universe, God, whatever you call it, has got you at the same time. So as we're going through this whole unlearning to look outside of ourselves and really take a look at the internal landscape, because that's where your proof's going to be. That's where your validation is going to be. The shifts are inside. So I want you to notice, instead of like, I don't have the dream house, I don't have the big bank account, or whatever external validations would make you feel better, I want you to take a look at, or the energies are calling for everyone to take a look at how you maybe feel a little bit different. Like, have you been a little happier lately from all the work that you've been doing, and how you've been focusing and being intentional about your day to day? How has that shifted how you're feeling? Or maybe a perspective has shifted. It could be just a micro perspective on somebody, like, oh, like, I don't know what they're going through, or I didn't know they were going through that, or possibly they are going through something. So I'm going to apply grace to that instead of judgment. This is just like little micro shifts. Or, oh, I'm complaining about something. Let me draw that back because I don't want that energy out there. And I'm getting through now the complaining energy. When complaining is coming through, when you hear yourself doing that, that is the ego seeking external validation. So that's like a big cue if you hear yourself going into complaining, that you're into external validation and not leaning into the internal validation. The reason being is because the ego likes people to agree with them. The ego likes people to get on the bus with them, to complain with them, because that makes the ego is right, because people are validating that externally. So that whole complaining loop, that's a huge signpost telling you to shift. Huge signpost telling you that the soul self is not in charge right now. The ego self is. So keep a lookout for those signs. All of the emotions, like even if you're noticing your shifts in emotions, is that you've been angry more, or you've been resentful more. again, they're signposts. It's not like, oh, my stuff's not working because I'm feeling a certain type of way. They're signposts saying, okay, anger here, you're uncovering something, which is awesome because we've all been taught to repress all these feelings for so long, and they have to come up to the surface, to be released and to be healed. So when these things come up, it's like, okay, yes, I'm onto something. Let's go a little deeper. Where's that coming from? Why am I feeling that way? Maybe you don't have any freaking clue. And if you don't, that's typically because it's just an old reflex on how you're used to reacting. You're used to getting pissed off. You're used to judging. You're used to getting resentful when you've shown up for the millionth time people pleasing, even though you didn't set the boundary or say no. It's all there as signs for you to help you through these shifts, not to make you feel crappy, even though they do. Like, let's call a spade a spade. We don't like those feelings, but we can learn to love those feelings when we're like, all right, this is just saying I'm at my edge and something needs to shift. Awesome. I see you. I release you. And how am I going to move differently in this situation? I want to give you a quick message before we get back to this episode. Unlock the secrets of your soul for free with Soul Notes. Say goodbye to feeling stuck and hello to the validation of your alignment. These weekly prompts are filled with reminders, gentle nudges, and sometimes a kick in the ass, all with love from your soul. Don't just take our word for it. Try Soul Notes for yourself and see the difference it can make in your life. Trust us, your soul and you will thank you. Just go to soulnote.org. That's SOULNOTE.org. Now back to our podcast. That's what's being called for here. I was taking a walk to see how this all was going to unfold and what I really needed to say to you. And I noticed as I was walking, my thoughts kept getting interrupted because I was hearing like a hammering noise. And then a little while longer, I heard a saw noise and I'm like, okay, somebody must be building something. And I was, getting up towards the head of a street. So I was like, when I turn, I'm going to be able to see what they're building. So I just, went back into tapping in and seeing what was going to come through and just kept hearing the building noises increasing louder. And I'm like, okay, I'm at the top of the street, turn the corner, expect to see, the validation of what I've been hearing and sensing. And there's just like this whole bank of beautiful trees and bushes, all the different fall colors. And it was like the most gorgeous thing. But my first thing was like, oh, I can't see what they were building. Now, did I decide that nothing was being built because I couldn't see it? No, I still had the solid belief that something was being built. So, I got 4 things out of this. That's the first one, the belief. I still believed something was being built behind all those trees and bushes, even though I couldn't see it, because I knew actions were being taken to build something. So if you're bringing an action out into the world to try to build, a business, a relationship, your dream home, whatever it is that you're wanting, or if you're working on, your anger, your people pleasing, whatever that is, if you're taking those actions and you're taking care of yourself, this is where Source is asking you to really trust and believe that those things are lining up and those things are building, even if you can't see it. Now, the second thing is I started laughing at myself because I had all this amazing beauty in front of me. And I was like, I can't even see what they're building. Like I got kind of annoyed because I started to get curious, which is the third thing. I started to get super curious. I wonder what it's going to look like. I wonder what it is. I wonder what it's going to be. So first thing, believing something was still happening, even though I couldn't see it. The second thing, not recognizing the beauty first and not really just taking a moment. I ended up standing there for like several minutes, just like looking at the colors, watching the birds swoop in and out, like really taking in the beauty that was in front of me, because that's what was important. It wasn't important, the thing that I couldn't see that wasn't, visible to me as proof of that, what I was thinking and feeling and hearing was real. You see what I mean? So when your energy is going to I don't have the external validation, or I don't have the expectation of seeing what I thought I would see from the actions I was sensing, you get into resentment, you get into frustration, disappointment, or like, well, who cares anyway, or it doesn't matter. You get into all these aloof, like, vibrations that aren't really serving you. when I had beauty in front of me to tap into, like, yeah, something epic is being built. Maybe someday I'll see it. Maybe I won't. Who knows? Maybe that's not for me. I don't know. But this beauty in front of me, it's for me. It's right here. I'm with it right now. So the third one was the being curious. I was really curious about what was being built. I didn't decide in my head, they are building a house. And that's it. And it's a contemporary style. And it's this, but this is what we tend to do with our goals. We decide we want something, we decide what it needs to look like, and then we hold really tight to that. So expectation, no, lean more into curiosity. Like, oh, it could be this, it could be this, like that. It could be unlimited possibilities, because that's the energy you want around you and in your life. Is there are unlimited possibilities for me? And this could be really exciting. It could be something amazing that really serves me, or it could be something really awesome for my friend that's my neighbor. You don't know. So sitting in that, enjoying the not knowing and enjoying that you're going to be surprised at some point, loosening up those expectations, that's really key for your manifestations. I was talking to somebody the other day that said that they had this one thing on their vision board for years and years and years. And every time they even made a new vision board, they would cut this picture out and put it on the new vision board. And then at one day they got really pissed off that this hadn't happened after, I think it was 5 years. And she threw it into a bonfire and let it burn. And 2 days later, she got a call with an offer for this exact thing that she had been trying to bring into her life, because she let it go. She released the expectation and the control and what it needed to look like. And then the day after that, she got a second call for a second thing, asking her to come do this thing she had always wanted to do. So it's that release piece. So this is the blueprint for walking through the rest of the year and walking through your big shifts. So believe things are happening without holding tight to them. Believe things are happening, even if you can't see it. But trust your other senses. Like with this, I trusted that I heard saw, I heard wood, I heard hammers. Something was being built. I trusted that. If you're like, I'm meditating, I'm doing EFT, I am going to see my therapist, I am sitting in silence and allowing the emotions of, anger or people pleasing or whatever to flow through me and present to me what can help it shift in my body, in my mind, and in conjunction with my soul. Like that's how we start working on things. So when you know those actions are there, you trust and believe. So number one is believing. Second one is look for the beauty around you and be with that. Whatever you are being presented with in the moment, that's your reality right now. If you're constantly looking into the future or looking into the past, like I've been asking for that thing for 5 years and it didn't happen yet, so it's not going to happen now. It's not going to happen in the future. You're like all out here and you're nowhere besides being with what life is right now, which is right in front of you. So 1, believe. 2, beauty. 3, stay curious, stay open to those unlimited possibilities. And the last one is that releasing control, releasing those expectations. So that is it. And be sure to integrate. I want to add that in. I'm hearing that at the end right now. Be sure you integrate these things, because we have a really bad tendency to hear it and be like, yep. And that's more the ego saying validation, like, oh yeah, I'm right on track, big shift. Okay, believe, got it. Like I've got it up here. How are you getting it here? How are you really like, okay, on a soul level, I feel that, I get that. I feel how powerful I am. I know that I'm, a creator. I know I can create anything I want. Like, how are you really embodying that and walking from that energy instead of maintaining your current day-to-day, going through the hustle and bustle to-do list type of thing, and then getting disappointed at the end of the day that you're going to bed with still a million things on your mind and not seeing that thing that you believe would shift everything for you. So this is really asking you to embody your soul self and walk and move from that place in that manner. Okay, that is your October energy update. Have an amazing month. All the ups and downs, just enjoy the hell out of it. And if you need any support, we are always here for you. Like, comment, let us know what's going on for you and how October's going for you. All right, be kind. Peace.